Creative hobbies make adapting in life much easier. And I've noticed that a lot of people don't seem to have stuff that they do when they go home to enjoy themselves in their private time. And I always advocate for drawing or some sort of creative pursuit because it seems like a lot of time when people don't have these things, they don't seem to see the world as openly and as broadly as the creative spirits that I come across. There are some restrictions, obviously, for this. It's time, whether or not you did these creative things when you were little. But my argument is you're never really too old or too young to get anything started in life, right? We have to believe that tomorrow we can do whatever the hell that we want. At the end of the day, we want freedom in our lives. Stability, sure, but the ability to go out and do something that we really want to do in a moment, we should have that. Because without it, we're a little bit lost. So creative hobbies for me, as you can see in the background here, I've been painting for about 10 years, maybe a little bit more than that. And it's something that my dad's sister got me into when I was in middle school, 6th grade in California. She was and still kind of is an abstract painter, and I remember going to her shack and throwing some paint on a canvas and making something that I thought was really, really cool. And I never really lost that fascination for creating things. I remember when I was little, I used to draw a bunch of pictures and stuff. And my cousin actually in California also got me into music, so I guess my California influence has lasted throughout the years. But creativity in general comes in a lot of different forms, right? So there's painting, there's music, there's writing, right? There's conversations, there's event planning, there is even going on a walk in the woods can be a creative hobby, right? Do you take the same route to go and do stuff? That's a creative hobby, in my opinion. I think creativity is something that's kind of essential to human beings in our modern day and age. I think after we got to the point that we wanted to domesticate animals and we had the resources to kind of sit still for a while, I think we got a bit antsy and we decided, hey, you know what, we need to start making some stuff. And so I think that's something that runs kind of deep inside of human psychology. And if you've ever had the chance to go and build something or to be in art class and actually genuinely enjoy that, you'll know that when you create something for yourself, first of all, it's something unique, something that only you can do. That's something that I genuinely believe. And second of all, there's a sense of accomplishment that comes with it, right? So when you finish something, when you say that, okay, I am done with this thing, and now I'm willing to potentially show this to other people, or even just have this for me to view, there is a tremendous euphoria that comes from that, at least for me. And I know for a lot of the people that have explored creativity in my friend group, they have felt similar things. Very likely, if you go about going and creating something, and you actually capitalize and finish creating it, meaning either you abandon it or you say, okay, this is about as far as I'm willing to take it, you'll feel that euphoria as well. I almost guarantee it. And creativity in general has given me a lot of perspective on life, I've realized. So in my actual career, I'm a dentist, and obviously that's some creative stuff going on. You know, you gotta go and shape teeth, and you gotta care about the aesthetics of things and make sure that the patients are happy with what they want to, what they're getting, what they're receiving. It feels good. But that life comes with a lot of scientific background, a lot of factual information that we kind of need to absorb in order to be appropriate providers. And creativity has been a phenomenal counterpoint for me, because in situations that I felt extremely stressed out, or I felt that I'm kind of doing stuff that everyone's doing, I can come back to my abode or somewhere that I've decided to create in the past and go out of my way to kind of experience a self-love, as I see it, a flow state. The way that I would define flow state is essentially a time a period of time that you are doing something in which you feel entirely satisfied in doing that thing. In fact, so much so that it is euphoric. And there, you can get this in a lot of different ways in life. Me personally, I get this out of creating music, out of creating paintings, and out of making these videos sometimes too. I love public speaking. That to me is a form of creativity too. None of the things that I ever say here are rehearsed, right? I have an idea of what I'm trying to convey, but at the end of the day, it comes down to my inspiration in the moment, the words that I'm willing to use. And I have to forget that I'm even to rob in moments like that, right? I have to forget that I even have a goal necessarily, because in order to be genuine to you, I have to be entirely in the moment. And that to me is the essence of creativity. And the reason why it is so euphoric, because you get to forget about your ego for a second, right? You get to just you get to be a conduit for whatever kind of spiritual power or whatever worldly power that you believe in. I've been watching some Rick Rubin interviews, and he says that, and him and a lot of other creative people that I respect, particularly musicians, and they say that it comes down to allowing the subconscious things that you've absorbed in your days to kind of come through in a physical form, or maybe a mental form if you're coming up with creative new thoughts. Now, to a larger point, besides the tremendous benefits in stress reduction and the euphoria that comes from achievement, creativity, I believe, also gives people the ability to be more free than a lot of society. And what I mean by that is the creative people that I know tend to think about their life a little bit less linearly than the people that don't go about pursuing making new things. And this can come in the form of not necessarily having the same career structure that a lot of people in society have, not necessarily having the same hobbies, not viewing relationships in the same binary sense, right? And that level of freedom, I think, is something that society has required for a long time, and we're finally getting to a place technologically and socially in terms of our awareness of what worldly trends are going on, that we can think to ourselves, hey, this is the type of human soul that I want to nurture and create and present. And being creative allows us to essentially go forward and come up with ideas to do that. Now, there is something to be said about if you decide to go and pursue creativity as a means to get income, or as a means to provide for yourself and the people that you care for. The irony of it is, and something that creative people, and myself included, have been notoriously very compromised on, is the lack of structure, right? So there's very few people that I've met that right off the bat, they just get it. That they get that not only do they want to make stuff, but that they also have to be structured about it. And I think that really hurts people in the long run when we don't create systems that are there to buffer our kind of laziness or our lack of inspiration. I've noticed, so I'm going to have an art store. You can go and check it out on the Instagram, terabify.art, where I sell stickers, t-shirts, hats, prints. And the reason is because I figure, listen, if you're going to spend so much time doing something that you genuinely enjoy, right? And you should show people these things, first of all, and just rationally, you should probably try to make some money off of it, because I genuinely believe the things that I'm making have value. Primarily because I've been doing it for a long time, but also, I don't know, the advice that I've gotten from the creative people that I really respect is basically, listen, if you like it, it has value, right? If the person creating the thing likes it, whatever they've created, that alone is such a phenomenal feat, right? Notoriously, creative people are incredibly pessimistic and very critical of our own creations. There's obviously some counterexamples that you may list off the top of your head, but as a by and far, it's really hard for me personally and the other creative people that I come across to say to ourselves, all right, this is the shit, this is worth showing to society, and this is worth this much money. Like, you kind of have to trick yourself into believing that to a degree. So what I would suggest, if you are a creative person, is definitely go about setting a minimum restriction for yourself for how many hours or how many minutes a day you're willing to create, or maybe just go and sit in the room that you create in for at least 5 minutes and see how that turns out. And for those of you that haven't fostered a creative habit, it's never really too late. And it's something that I'm sure you can think of a number of things that you might want to go in and indulge in. And it's really not all that far away, right? It's one YouTube video and really just the formation of a habit, which in itself is incredibly useful in other aspects of your life. So if that's something you can nail down, you're going to be not only getting the stress reduction from creating, but you're also going to be getting the productivity advantage of being able to form habits. So anyway, I talk about creativity a lot more with some people, and there's also other videos that I've made, depending on which one I choose. It's gonna be right over here, so go check it out, and I'll see you over there. And as always, actualize your potential. Take care.